actually gives me pleasure to open a shop that is going to give personal service, because I'm a great believer in that. I wish you well and hope that all goes well for you in the future. It's a difficult world to be in, but with personal service, I'm sure you can make it.
Thank you very much.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
Officially open.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've just seen our Mayor, Ian Carr, open this AB computer shop. But there's something different about this. I mean, there's computers everywhere these days, and me, as a total layman, well, you can tell by the hair, that I know nothing about computers. So we've got Peter Watt here, who's one of the owners of the shop, to tell us something about what's happening in here.
Indeed, yes. Well, one of the reasons that we've formed AB Computers is because we find today that there are too many shops around that will sell you the hardware, but there's no backup facilities to help out. What we want to do is to provide a personal service to our buyers and to people who have bought other equipment, we don't mind, but we can help them with any personal problems they've got or any PC problems that they need fixed.
Right, now I come in here, I know absolutely nothing, believe me. I know what a mouse is. That's about as far as I know. I'm showing my ignorance here, I'm sorry. But if I came in and bought something, a computer from you, would you put me through the whole thing and teach me exactly how to use it?
Well, what we can do is we can actually show you the sort of things that well, the first question I'd have to ask you is what do you want to use it for?
Well, it's safe for business.
For business use. A standard machine, you'd be using word processing, you'd be using spreadsheets, and maybe accounts packages. Yeah. What we can do is show you the type of system that would run those packages. We can help you with the selection of the software that you would want and give you the basics introduction of how to use the machine. Most of the packages that are around these days are large, they're very technical, and what we can do is we can actually point you in the right direction for specialised training courses who could show you how to use those machines.
Right, now this new thing, the nets, we keep hearing about the nets at the moment. They say it's going to cause so many problems, but can you do it from these computers that you're selling here?
Yes, we've actually got an internet access here, and what we can do is we can surf the web, as they call it. Basically, all it is thousands and thousands of computers connected together, giving you information from simple things like visiting the White House, as we saw Ian do earlier, to looking at the local newspapers or the Daily Telegraph or something like that. And you can gain all the access, you can access all that information, bring it back, look at it, peruse it at your own pleasure, and it's really it's a collection of knowledge.
Yeah.
And in that knowledge, there's so many things that you can do. You can look at pictures, you can view different subjects. There's specialist subjects. The internet not only consists of graphical type pictures, but also consists of Usenet news readers.
Yeah, but now, again, a layman here. If I got a computer and I want to get hooked up to that, I can get hooked up to that, and I can say what I want, and it will go all over the world.
All over the world, yes.
And I can put pictures in there that will go all over the world as well.
Yeah. Anybody can access your pictures, anybody can look at your pictures. You can stop them doing it. But there's security features inside the internet which will stop you doing that. Right. But I know that they've just started off, for instance, a home shopping on the internet, where you can go into Dixon's, you can go into InTouch, you can go to all sorts of different suppliers for different equipment, order that equipment, see a picture of what you're buying, and then put your Barclaycard number in, and it'll arrive on your doorstep the next day.
As I say, I don't know anything about it. What's going to be the difference between you here in Union Street, by the way, now you know it's Union Street, and, say, the bigger stores like Dixon's and people like that?
Well, the main thing is that we can provide that personal service. We also have the knowledge of the PC. We know how it works. We build them here ourselves. So we know what has gone into the PC. We know what software to use. We know how to use the software that's available for the PC and what is around today. And I think that is very important these days, because it is very confusing out there. I'll be honest, it confuses me today as well.
If it confuses you, what do you think about me?
It is very, very difficult, I must admit. But we can help people out. If we know what they want to do, we can then point them in the right, even if they don't buy it from us, they can point them in the right direction, help them make their decision. Because the purchase is a big purchase.
Oh yes.
And one of the major...
What would an average course be for just to get the basics for a start?
An average course will cost you about maybe £50
What? A course?
to actually go on a course. I think. I mean, to be honest with you, Crick Lake College.
To actually buy a computer here
Right.
to get started into computers.
Yeah.
What is the cheapest you can actually get started into them for?
Well, the cheapest machine that we do here is £899,
Yes.
and that's including VAT.
Yes.
So that machine will give you a very high resolution display, a very fast system, because we don't do any slow systems at all here. We've tailor-made the system to produce speed, basically. And that system will give you access to any software package which you want to buy. You can run it on there. You can even play games.
Really?
Lots of games that you can play on there. And then when you do upgrade, you can upgrade to have multimedia on the system.
Yeah.
The multimedia with a package like Encarta, which is an encyclopedia,
Yeah.
can enable your children to search through this whole encyclopedia, which is 600 megabytes in size, and look for any piece of information down and to take that information out, put it into a word processing document, give it in at school.
Yeah.
See pictures of people doing things, hear music from different parts of the world. All that is available now, and at very, very good prices.
Well, the whole thing sounds fascinating. I mean, will you help me get into this? Because maybe we'll do something on the show here about a total ignoramus as far as these things are concerned, learning how to do something with computers. And Peter, will you give me a few lessons?
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll show you this Encarta I was telling you about.
Right.
Okay. If we come over to this machine here. Right. As I said, Encarta is an encyclopedia. So the first thing you want to do in an encyclopedia is find a subject. So you very simply use your mouse, click on find, a pointer comes up, and you type in a subject. So for instance, if we were looking at the Berlin Wall, something that's come up recently, we can type in Berlin, BER. As you see, as I type in, it changes. It will select the nearest word to what you've typed in so far. When I type in the L, it's now come to Berlin. Right, that's highlighted, so I just click on Berlin. It will now go away and search the CD and look for Berlin. Here we are.
It's that quick. It just comes in that quick.
We can look at pictures of Berlin, so we'll see when you enlarge this, the picture will come up.
Okay, Berlin, I know quite well.
Right.
So, I would like to see a picture of the Gefürstendammstraße. Is that a big, difficult thing to do?
Your guess is as good as mine. Let me show you the multimedia aspects. I mean, the multimedia aspects is one of the things that is making CDs so good today.
Yeah.
You can set a map of Berlin. And all this text here that's talking about Berlin, we can take out into a word processor, edit it, use it, read it, and then put it back into any word processing document that we want. So here we have, when you get a little file viewer up like this means this is actually a piece of movie. Now you actually get sound.
Where's this coming from? Here?
The Western regions united to form a federal republic, and the Soviet-controlled zone became communist East Germany. The Cold War had begun. Berlin, the former capital of Germany, was divided into East Berlin and West Berlin.
Well, this is excellent. It really is good. How often is this updated then?
It's updated every year. So there's was Windows. There was Encarta 94. This is Encarta 95. So next year there'll be an Encarta 96.
Oh, you get moving pictures then?
That's right. Yes.
I'm amazed here. I mean, Ich bin ein Berliner. I think you said something like
I'm a sausage.
A sausage.
That's right. But all of these things are just on a CD-ROM, like you would play in your normal music stereo. And you just plug it into the CD, and you can learn all this information from it. So my children here, they use it all the time.
Well, of course they're more intelligent than I am.
That's right. It's frightening.
Isn't it strange that younger people are literate with things, and us older ones, are totally illiterate on these things, because my kids know how to do that. I mean, I can't even set a player to get for the program. What is it called? Those doobies. But yeah, it's one of those things. I can't even set that to time it because I wouldn't know.
No, I mean, they've been brought up with it. They're very lucky. I was around a friend's last week. 3-year-old child was navigating Windows, going in, running a program, coming out, closing Windows down, shutting the computer off and walking away.
Isn't that
3
frightening?
years old. Terrifying.
Peter, thanks very much for talking to us. And can I come in every now and then and try and get some knowledge about this stuff?
We'll try our best.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to this week's show, Town TV viewers. We're back at Gibolton at Mark Bailey Racing. I know a lot of you found that the last item we did on Mark and his team very exciting because they are Formula 3 racers. And this weekend, it's the great big Silverstone British Grand Prix. And Mark's team, Mark Bailey Racing, is in the supporting race on the Saturday. And they've got 2 cars in the Formula 3 race. Car number 47, driven by Zach Brown, and car number 48, driven by Johnny Merlin. So look out for that on Saturday. We're going to go and have a word with Mark and see what's been happening since we last spoke to him. I think we had a test day, which didn't go too well. But anyway, welcome to the show. Let's go and find Mark. Right, last time we were at Mark's establishment, there was nobody here because he gave them all the day off. But it's a bit different now, isn't it?
Yes, it was a Saturday and I didn't have my whip out, but unfortunately today we got the whip out because we've got the Grand Prix meeting where we leave. We've got today and tomorrow and then we're off leaving, and as you can see there's quite a bit of work to still do on the cars. We've done quite a bit of testing since we last spoke. We did a Grand Prix test day a week ago today, and
how did that go?
Not bad, I think it's probably the best description. It could have been better. We were doing very well in the morning, but towards the end of the day, our tyres were fairly tired, excuse the pun. But all the other teams had the money to bolt on new tyres for testing, which unfortunately we didn't. And results showed because of it in the test day. We were about a second off the guys that we wanted to be close to, but saying that, we know once we bolt the new tyres on, we'll be right up with them. So we're fairly confident for the Grand Prix. But since then, we've done a hell of a lot of work. Both cars have been totally stripped down and they're all being repainted. I mean, the tubs of the cars, obviously nice.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Yeah, nice bright and yellow. This is the one that came back on Sunday night at 10 o'clock. It's had a few dirty hand marks over it, but basically, as you can see, the basics is it's nice and clean, and all the bodywork we're picking up today. So.
What's one of these worth then? I never did ask you that last time.
No, a Dallara Formula 3 car, brand spanking new. There's a lot of different engine choices, but the chassis alone, minus engines, £45,000.
45,000?
Just the chassis, yeah, and then engines on top, probably about 15,000, something in that sort of region, and that comes with no spares. That's just a set of tyres and wheels on the car, and that's it.
So that's why you need sponsors.
That's why we need sponsors, yeah. Although because we run in Class B, we obviously pick the cars up a little bit cheaper. Our engines are more or less the same cost, but the chassis, we pick them up for, depending on the year, between 15 and 20,000. So it is quite a reduced price, yeah.
So who have you got sponsoring you?
Well, we've got this is car 47, which is Zach Brown's. His main sponsor is Spring Ram. Ram bathrooms are on the side of the car, which is a division of Spring Ram. And he's got Total Tel, which is an American company, telephone company, and he's also got various other subsidiary sponsorship. Johnny has got, this is car 48, the one we've been having the better results with this year and a second in the championship.
Do drivers go out and find their own sponsors?
Yes, they do. They're constantly looking for sponsorship. Johnny's managed to find, he's got West End Vauxhall who are sponsoring the car for this meeting, plus Moving Shadow, and he's obviously after trying to get some more sponsorship in as well.
Yeah. So it's obviously a big weekend for you, and all the sponsors will be up there. You have your hospitality tent and all that.
You got it. Yeah, it's we tend to. This is, if you like, the big show for Formula 3, and we put on quite a good presentation for it. I mean, hence the cars have been repainted, all the wishbones have been replated up, and there's more show goes on at this meeting than probably any other, because obviously we want to put on a good show for the sponsors and the people that are coming.
So when do you leave?
We leave on Thursday morning, and basically we spend a day initially setting up. We've got a big awning to put up on the side of the truck, then we've got some flooring that goes down, and then got to get all the tools out, and set the awnings up on the motorhomes, etc. And then Friday, we get the cars scrutineered on Friday morning. And then Friday afternoon, we've got 2 qualifying sessions. It's quite interesting because qualifying when Formula 1 cars are at the Silverstone circuit is totally different from when we normally qualify because they run really sticky tyres. So we have to change the setup on the cars because we're running with the Formula 1 cars.
Oh, it should be a great weekend. I hope you're going to bring us back some film from Silverstone.
Yeah, we will do indeed, yes.
See, we're not allowed to take our camera in because of the TV rights, but because we haven't got millions and millions like the BBC. But
yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Yeah, we've got that problem as well. Yeah. But just keep our fingers crossed. Yeah. And like any sport, there's a lot of luck that goes with it. But I know the cars are fairly close to.
It'll be great if you win, won't it?
Yes, we hope so. Yeah.
Obviously, as I said, everything's got to look really smart and pristine. And here we are. Tom's polishing away, aren't you, Tom?
Certainly am.
It's a big old truck to polish.
Takes its time, yeah.
It certainly doesn't. Don't you get out and polish a bit, Mark?
Oh, I do occasionally, yeah. I do give him a hand. I have been known to wash the truck. I mean, Tom's been on this. It's about a 2-day job to clean the truck, isn't it? He started at the back, and I mean, he started at the back yesterday, and he's now got to the front, so he's got to go all the way around still.
Well, as you say, it's got to look nice for the sponsors. I mean, the cars are expensive enough, $45,000 without the engine. I mean, how much is all this?
Trucks aren't that bad. I mean, well, they are if you're a Formula 1 team. They're a fortune. But a truck like this is probably worth something like 20,000, something like that. So I mean, it's not what it's about what you pay for a sort of an average expensive road car. But for what it does and the size of it, it's actually quite good value for money. And that comes with a big awning, etc. So I mean, we're quite proud of our truck.
Yeah, it's smashing. Okay, well, great name, great truck, and great team. And let's hope you do really well this week.
Yeah, well, thanks for your time and coming round, and I'll keep you posted of the result.
Let us know.
It's a good one.
Okay, smashing. All right, Mark. See you again shortly. Bye-bye, Tom. Thanks a lot. Well, I'm standing on a bit of hallowed turf, I suppose you could say, beneath my feet here at Appleshaw Cricket Club. On the 15th of July, 1870, the legendary Dr. W.G. Grace made the first of his 2 recorded visits to Appleshaw when playing for Danebury in a match against West Hants. And now, 125 years later, almost to the day, another famous cricketer, hot from his Test match for England, is due to make his debut in the village. And his name, Robin Smith. Good old Robin. Kept us going last week when all the rest of the wickets were falling down. So Robin Smith's going to be here in Appleshaw on Tuesday, the 18th of July. And he's going to be joined by Tim Tremlett, the county first 11 coach for Hampshire, and several of the county colleagues from Hampshire. Plus, I think Toby and Ian Boarding are going to come here, the local racehorse trainers. And we've got Meridian TV sports presenter Andy Stegel. He'll be there, I'll be here, on this hallowed turf at Appleshaw. So there we go. That's Tuesday, the 18th of July at Appleshaw. Thanks for watching the show. Hope we're going to knock you for 6 with the next item. this has to be one of the best pavilions I've seen on a local sports field here at Appleshaw. This is a really amazing building. It's good to see local sports being taken care of in this way. Great for the community too. There we are, no spikes in Main Hall, thank you. Anyway, there we are, celebrity cricket match. Appleshaw CC against the President's Invitation 11. Tuesday, 18th of July at Appleshaw playing field. So there's a bar here, there's going to be refreshments and an after-match barbecue. And of course, just down the road is our favourite pub, the Walnut Tree Inn. So that'll be happening too. So join us Tuesday, the 18th of July at Appleshaw. Be a really great day out. Bye for now.
Right, down in Problems Music with young Simon, an old friend of ours, obviously, because we come here first strings, and don't you all? But tonight, in part of the festival, is the New Antonians Swing Orchestra. Now, this band was formed for a special reason. Simon, why was that?
Well, last year, exactly, when the festival was on in Andover, there were two different big bands that performed. The Sid Lawrence Orchestra and the Tropicana Dance Band. And a number of us went to see these different bands and thought, yeah, we've got all the musicians around Andover that could do that quite easily.
Do they all come from around Andover then?
About 90%. Yeah. In order to get the range of instruments that we needed, though, we have drawn on members from as far afield as Farnham. Mm-hmm. We have a couple from Newbury. We now have, I think, 3 from Salisbury. So, having grown to something slightly larger than the normal amount for a swing band.
How many are in the band now?
25. There are 16 separate parts, but we double up on some to give a particularly full sound, which seems to be fairly successful and popular.
I should imagine. Well, I'm looking forward to it tonight. How often can you get to rehearse with all this many people?
We have incredibly enthusiastic members, which means that we actually practice at least once a week. Through the summer months with all the heat, we've thought, well, maybe perhaps only rehearse once a fortnight or something like that.
It's too hot to do interviews today as well, isn't it?
Speak for yourself. But in fact, they've all wanted to keep going every week.
Excellent.
So they really are enthusiastic. It's great.
So it's mainly brass, I take it?
Now then, showing your ignorance of big band. Big band always consists of basically 4 trumpet parts, 4 trombone parts, 5 saxophone parts. Yeah. That's alto, 2 tenors, and a baritone. Then guitar, bass, and drums backline. We actually double up on the alto and tenor saxes to give a fuller sound.
Yeah. So where do you derive all your arrangements from, or do you get them ready-made?
They are all available from various organisations, a lot of them originating, or the core of it originating certainly from the Glenn Miller era.
Excellent.
But also, of course, slightly more recent than that, you've got Count Basie and Duke Ellington arrangements. Coming much more modern, you have Neil Hefti, a chap who's arranged a lot of this sort of stuff, and some more modern tunes for really full sound. A lot of others as well, but I mean those are some of the better known ones. There were people back in the when would it be, the 40s, also like sort of Benny Goodman and so on. A number of tunes from perhaps 10 or 20 years before that. Were arranged around that era
before
by
the
other
Benny
people.
Goodman era. Oh, really?
Were arranged in that era.
And can you get copies of the arrangements for each individual instrument at the moment?
Everything that we play is available now. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even from that era?
Oh yes.
So that's going back how many years?
Well, we're 50 years, aren't we? Yeah. In fact, some of it has been rearranged. Sometimes you can't get the very much the originals.
Yeah.
Some have been slightly updated for a more modern sound and so on.
So, the Andover Festival. You enjoy obviously playing the Andover Festival. It's your second year. Where do you play besides that?
We've had a busy year so far, playing as far afield as Wellington in Somerset.
Oh, did you take your sandwiches for that?
And down around Salisbury, over Basingstoke Way, Newbury area. at loads of different types of events too, because obviously with this year being the anniversary of the end of the war, there's been a lot of VE Day events that we're taking part at. We've done fundraising things with Red Cross, for example. We've done concerts to raise money for Romanian orphanage organisations and things like that. So it's quite varied. I mean, some of them we've been sitting in a garden under the trees while everybody has a cup of tea. Others have been more like a dinner dance, and others, as at Cricklade, of course, very much a straightforward concert. Some events have been big open-air town do's where you've got perhaps 3,000 people in a park with other sideshows and so on going on.
So you sit down, you don't do all this marching stuff then?
No, you can't really. No, not with those type of instruments.
Not with all that. Simon, have a wonderful evening this evening.
I'm sure
we're
we
looking
will.
forward to listening to the band.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us.
All the best.
Hi, I'm Reg Presley and welcome to the UFO Show. This week we're going to talk about some of the things that we saw on the Roswell footage. And one was the hieroglyphics, Colin.
The glyphs are a tremendous interest to me personally because, of course, the research we've done on the crop circles. The primary building
of their
blocks,
shapes.
yeah, absolutely. The primary building blocks of the crop circle phenomena up to 1988, before it was generally publicly known, you can see are here contained within the material from Roswell. We have no idea what they mean at this time, but a number of people are working on that. It's also the same material as we've picked up from the artwork from the indigenous people around the whole world, from the Aborigines in Australia, the Hopi Indians in America, Dogon people in Africa, the Kogi people. These are all the same symbols. And even, I think this is a particularly fascinating point, that when people make the circles, invariably they also repeat symbols that are well known to us. It's in a fascinating situation coming from the innermost workings of the human mind. We're looking here at phosphenes. These are phosphenes which are encoded within people. I think it's fascinating.
So where will we go from here? I know they're out now in front of language experts trying to be analysed in that. What do you think they're going to discover? Do you think that they're going to discover a connection between crop circles and these hieroglyphs?
I think it's highly probable because, as I was saying, they appear across the whole gambit of research. But people like Zachariah Sitchin in New York, Richard Hoagland, the head of the Mars mission, the NASA consultant, they are well aware that we already have a certain amount of knowledge of the hieroglyphs in Egypt, for example. And people like them and Dr. Sherwood, who's now arrived here from Australia, are bound to have their own interpretations of what they might mean. I think we have to keep a very open mind, but a very exciting phase where now we do have major pieces of the jigsaw puzzle and we simply are left with trying to resolve what they mean.
Amongst the hieroglyphs, there was also some material where it looked almost like a control panel.
Yeah.
And of course, the alien has 6 fingers. The control panels also had 6 fingers. What do you reckon on this?
Well, I thought that was particularly interesting. I think it could be one of two things. Logically, in our form of logic, could be one of two things. I think it could be maybe a device for monitoring their well-being, their health. Also, as you say, maybe some sort of control device. But you were looking there at, as you say, 6 digits pushed, compressed, like you would push your hand into wet sand and leave a depression. But within that mold were raised divots, like raised columns. It was, 4, I think, across the palm of the hand.
And also strips across the top.
That's right. Fascinating. I mean, I think, I get a real feel that this could be thought processes, body functions, immediately communicated, if you like, connected to the actual device which moves the vehicle, perhaps, that they are in. So in other words, think right, go right.
Yeah, I did notice also that at the broken end or part of that control panel, there were like little things, not wires as such,
like
but
fibre optics.
Yes.
Yeah,
fibre optics hanging out.
Yeah,
in great abundance.
Absolutely.
Out of the end of.
Yeah.
Of the,
that was of real interest, and like my sort of engineering background, that's the first thing one would look at. You were looking at, as you say, a surface, a wafer construction, maybe about 2 inches thick, and coming out of the center of the wafer, tens of these little cords like fibers, which perhaps are conductors of a kind, in either laser or light conductivity. It could be one of many things, but fascinating.
When one thinks back to the last, nearly 50 years, if this actually did happen and we're looking at film footage of actual things, it is amazing to think that in that period of time we have got fibre optics. Maybe the Americans are using
back
engineering all the things. And if you remember on the alien itself, when they took what appeared to be contact lenses, jet black contact lenses off of the eyeball.
That's right.
That was incredible for
Yeah,
me.
I think
Where did those kind of things come
Absolutely.
from?
Yeah, information which might have been gained, I guess, from the incident at the time, and maybe even another reason for that level of secrecy, that they are leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else with technology because they have this nugget of gold which landed in Roswell.
In their back garden.
In their back garden.
And I believe also that probably the businessmen of the world are taking this, or beginning to take this slightly seriously, because if you can get things like fibre optics and the
Contact lenses.
from just those sort of things, what other things can you get from
that?
it?
Is right. And you know what I think, that to add to what you have said, is that, you were saying if this happened, I don't think there's any question that it happened. There are 500 witnesses, people that are now dying and telling their children, that they have not been unable to say things because of secrecy and threats, one has to say. There is ample evidence something occurred. I think the big question, which I'm sure is what you're saying, is this film the record? And I think, we're watching things developing so fast here by the day. We're about to find out. We're about to find out.
Possibly this year?
I think very soon. It has to be go, because the information's into the public domain.
That's right.
Major networks are covering it. On 26th of August this year, it comes out into this country. Fox Television are running with it. Japanese television are running with it. The whole thing's moving. And therefore, this year is decision day, decision year.
Well, thank you. And there's another UFO show come to a close. We hope to bring you more as it happens. Watch this space.
Well, that UFO show was thirsty work, I think. Reg must be dying for a pint. Anyway, we've beaten to it. We've come out to the Weyhill Fair at Weyhill, just to the west of Andover. So all you Salisbury viewers who want to know where the Weyhill Fair is, we're about 4 miles out of Andover on the west side of it. Anyway, it's a big festival here this weekend, and we're going to go inside right now and talk to Dave, the landlord, who's putting on a wonderful feast of food, music and beer. 25 real ales, I believe. Anyway, we're going to find out a bit more inside. So we'll see you inside.
We've got a lot of things to celebrate here at the pub. It's our 25th wedding anniversary. I'm 50 this year.
Congratulations. And what's your wife's name?
Jane. Yeah, we've got a lot of things that we thought we'd just have one big party this weekend. As you know, the place is known for its beer.
You just have renovations done as well, haven't you?
We've got an enlarged pub, better facilities now, and we just thought, what the hell, let's have a really good party weekend. Get some good bands. Original Gravity, of course, are well known locally.
Great folk duo. Original Gravity will be playing. That's this weekend, by the way. It starts on Friday the 14th of July and goes on till Sunday night.
It does, yeah. And we've got 25 different beers because it's 25 years we've been married and we didn't have any decent beer at the wedding. So we're going to have some good beers this weekend. 25 different beers. Well, Tony's the expert on beer, so what I'm going to do is ask Tony to go outside with Dave, and he's going to show you where it's all going to be at the Weyhill Fair. So I'll hand it over to Tony outside.
Dave, can you tell us some of the history about the Weyhill Fair?
Well, the pub itself, we think, has been here for about 300 years, but of course the fair goes way back, and the pub that was here, the Sun, was just part of it, and it was an amazing affair. Covered acres, and they reckon there was as many as 500,000 sheep here at the sheep fair. So it's quite nice, we feel, that the name at least is preserved in the pub.
Yeah.
It's something that has just slipped away into history. There are people in Andover, a lot of people who still remember coming out to Weyhill Fair and the fairground and the sideshows and the boxing booths, and it must have been a tremendous event.
But probably the biggest event around the area, I suppose.
I would think it must have been, yes. But it was just something that faded away, and there's just memories of it now. There's no lasting monument.
Well, the nice thing you're doing is getting traditional beers into a traditional pub.
Yeah.
And with all those ones, there must be a choice there for everybody.
Oh yes. We got bitter beers, we've got hoppy beers, we've got malty beers, strong beers for the people who are staying overnight.
Indeed, It's a bit far out to walk back to Andover, but there you go.
There's a guy in South Wales brought us some beer down from his brewery. His brewery is called Reckless Eric's, which sounds as if it could be some pretty potent brew. But
sounds like a punk band.
Well, that too, I would think.
Peter Redman is doing something on about the site. Can you tell us something about what he's doing?
Well, yes, Peter came to me a couple of years ago and said he'd got an idea for doing a production based around the Weyhill Fair, and it sounded like a good idea at the time, and I thought no more about it. And then he came back to me and said he'd got a few ideas together, and could he have a look at the site to stage it up here? And this is going ahead, and as far as we know, it will form the centrepiece of next year's, that's 96, Andover Festival.
Oh, that's great. Well, this is a fringe of the festival, isn't it?
This weekend is a fringe event, yes.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be a much bigger event, and that's almost out of our hands. It's something that Peter and the festival committee are going.
Oh, the committee are getting involved
yes,
in this one
yes,
as well.
yeah.
So they will actually stage this whole thing.
They will stage the whole thing, and they'll be using our field to stage the thing over probably 2 or 3 days. So it should be something worth coming out to.
There'll be a lot of rehearsals involved in getting that.
Oh
together,
yes, I would think so.
So there'll be a lot of people out there. I don't mind rehearsing in the pub, especially when you've got all those beers on. What's this?
Tony looking definitely a bit thirsty. Dave, sorry I haven't got you one, but and we're drinking lager, and it's going to be a beer festival. But there we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, I was going to give you that one. But wonderful. So come to the beer festival at the Weyhill Fair this weekend coming up. Obviously, if you're watching the show after this weekend, you missed it, but it's going to be a great event. Come and see Dave, eat some of his food, drink some of his real ale. So thanks, Tony. I'm going to have a drink.
Yeah. So am I.
Yes, okay.
Thanks, Dave.
We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye. Do you remember those far-off days of 1961? When men were men and women were women and everybody spoke terribly nicely, just like that. Well, we found some wonderful old footage of the Hampshire cricket side who won the 1961 championship. And they had a great captain called Colin Ingleby Mackenzie. And here we see Colin and the rest of the team, rest of the lads, at the BBC. And I think they're being interviewed by Peter West. So roll this 1961 footage, Steve. I think you'll find this quite amazing.
Wondering whether that's the first defensive stroke that the Hampshire captain has played in 1961.
Well, it was rather a good ball, Peter, actually. I wasn't expecting it.
Colin, congratulations yet again to you and all the boys. It's been an immensely popular win all over the land with cricketers. On the subject of Brighton cricket, how do you think that Hampshire contributed most to it last season?
Well, Peter, it's very difficult. We always, in fact, play the same way. We always try and entertain the crowds. I think really that, I think the main thing is that we don't fear defeat, I think, quite like other crowds, but other sides. But I think with people like this, how can you fail to appeal to the crowds? And look, they're all so jolly good looking, aren't they?
If somebody gives you a challenge, you're prepared to take it, and you're prepared to dangle the carrot for somebody else.
Yes, well, dangle the carrot to anybody, Peter, I must say.
Have you had any more illuminating thoughts on the very serious subject, Colin, of team discipline?
Discipline? Oh, Peter, I had a feeling this might come up. Well, I personally think probably it's the spirit that gets us there in the end.
The team spirit?
Well, I think the gin spirit.
And what are you doing now? Are you busy practicing during the winter?
Yes, I practice on the racecourse during the winter, Peter, actually.
I hope the horses are fast enough for you.
Well, there are lots of fast horses, and there are far too few slow women. That's the trouble with them.
Thank you very much, Colin.
Thank you, Peter, very much.
Right. Golden bucket time. What's this? Right, it's time for the draw. It's time for the draw, and this is for £25 worth of clothing from Jazz, which is in
the Chauncey Centre.
Yeah, and what were the other questions?
Who played at the Cricklade? Who was a famous jazz trumpeter playing at the Cricklade? Has he played yet?
Yeah, he played last Saturday.
I missed him.
Yes.
Humphrey Littleton.
Yeah.
And the other question was, what are jeans made of?
Yeah, it's denim.
Denim. That was easy, wasn't it?
A lot of you got this right.
Yeah. And who won?
Well, we just go and see.
Oh, not Mick Gisborne.
Mick
No,
Gisborne?
Mick, you won £25 worth of clothing from Jazz in the Chauncey Centre. Well, you know all about that, wouldn't you? So anyway, you've won. So that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, we get in touch with you, give you a ring, let you know when you can go and pick them up.
In the golden bucket.
Right, what else is happening?
It's a motor racing competition because it's the Silverstone Grand Prix this weekend. So we thought we'd have a motor racing competition. And what surprise, Tony?
Oh, it's a wonderful prize.
This is a great prize.
Yeah, it's Ian Taylor Racing out in Thruxton. They've offered us, it's a day. What you will do, you will go out to Thruxton, you'll do 6 laps with an instructor, and then you'll do 3 laps driving him around. At the end of the day, you'll go around in a racing car, a one-seater racing car. Wants to make sure you're not going to crash it, but it's a terrific day. But you get briefed and you get trained. So
Can we go in for this one?
I'm going in for this one.
No, we're not allowed to.
Oh, no.
All employees of Town TV aren't allowed to go in for it.
Employees?
Yeah, well, you know. The charity station.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, what are we going to do first? The plugs?
No, we're going to do the competition first. I think we'll do the competition right now. So ring in, all you viewers in Salisbury, Andover, and all those points west, east, south, and north. What is the famous racing colour of the Ferrari team? What is the famous colour of the Ferrari cars in the Ferrari team? Very famous colour.
Steve doesn't know.
Steve doesn't know. Has he grown a beard, Steve, do you think? I don't know.
think so.
I think he's grown a beard.
Maybe he can't afford the blades.
No, that's what it is, yeah. 2. This guy certainly can afford something. Who was the father of Formula 1 driver Damon Hill? Who was the father? Steve doesn't know that either. Who was the father of Formula 1 driver Damon Hill?
That's a good question.
Because these are motor racing questions. We want somebody who's going to win this. Obviously, he's got to be a motor racing enthusiast. So, 3. And what team does Damon drive for? You'll see him driving this weekend, or if you're watching after the weekend, he may have actually won. Steve doesn't know that either.
Steve doesn't know.
What team does Damon drive for? So let's do those 3 questions again. What is the famous colour of the Ferrari Formula 1 cars? 2. Who was the father of Formula 1 driver Damon Hill? And 3. What team does Damon drive for? And the prize was this Ian Taylor
Racing.
Ian Taylor Racing, rushing around the track.
We'll arrange the time and everything else, whoever's won.
Yeah, okay, that'll be really good. We'll come up and film that because it could be quite fun. What's next? This weekend's events.
Yeah, this has just come through in the fax. It's from the Test Valley.
Yeah, you can fax us, by the way, on 390-391. That's Andover, 390-391.
This is a community fun day in Harroway School.
Yeah.
On Sunday, 16th of July.
Oh.
2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Harroway School, Andover. Community fun day. You've got gymnastics, martial arts, live music, silver band and pop, bouncy castles, more bouncy castles, children's races, face painting, hand printing and hair braiding, prize draw, dozens of stalls run by groups offering bargains, tombola and other entertainment.
Hair braiding.
Hair braiding.
Oh, I think I'll go up to that.
Steve's going in for that.
Yeah,
Let's go with his beard.
Poor old Steve. He's doing all right. By the way, if it rains that day, it's going to be held inside the school.
So be there. Community Fun Day. Had the fax from Test Valley. Derek Grimstone. Well done, Derek. Thanks for sending in the fax.
And don't forget our fax number is 390-391.
390-391. And the number for the competition is, again, 390-390. That's Andover. Number, all you Salisbury viewers. 390-390. And the cricket, of course. That's on the 18th. What have we got here? Singing 95. That's at the John Hanson Community School, Quarry Close, Andover. And Jerry Wilson, the head teacher, good old Jerry, is retiring. And that's also on Tuesday the 18th of July, Singing 95.
He's been there 17 years now.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's what it says there.
Simon Marlowe from 210 FM is going to be there. And but we'll get along there and see Jerry and everybody singing 95 at the John Hanson Community School.
What are you shaking these things for?
Because last week we had loads of people ring in and say, "Oi, we didn't see our floats in the Andover Carnival."
Oh, right.
But
that's what it is it?
But we had a secret camera. We had a secret camera hidden in Junction Road, didn't we, Steve? And
a secret cameraman hidden there as well.
That's right. Yeah. And although all floats went past to this music,
mine doesn't work.
Try that one.
Oh, right. Is it in tune?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, same as that.
So, anyway, the rest of the Andover Carnival, all you people who rang in and said, "Oi, where were we?" You're now going to see yourselves. So, as the end credits roll, what do you say, Steve?
That warrior.
Oh, Warrior. That's the other thing we forgot. We had a camera hidden down in the trunk, he said. No, he didn't, because Ollie was on the camera, and he went down and shot all those people queuing up to see Warrior and get his autograph. So, Warrior, the Andover Carnival, Town TV, Tony Murray. What else do you want? Hope you enjoyed the show. See you later.
Bye.
Where's my shaker?
Oh dear. Get the one that works. Right, that's the golden bucket for another week.